The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you. Additional support is provided by Athearn Trains. Check out all their new monthly announcements at athearn.com. And by Walthers. Everything you need to build a great model railroad. Visit their website at walthers.com. And thank you for your support. We got the microphone. We got good sound bars over there, Dirk. Yes, we do.
Are you Dirk?
I hear the furnace going on, but it doesn't matter with this microphone.
All right, you ready?
I am. Just do that countdown thing and let's
Everybody up here in
April
3, 2.
This is the What's Neat This Week podcast for April 7th, 2018. This is podcast number 31. Can you believe we've done 31 already? Tonight, we've got a lot to talk about, but I'm not going to launch into it until I tell you that Jeff Meyer is here with us this evening. I've got Connor Meyer right here. We love you, Connor. Daniel. Look at that, 2 generations of model railroaders. Daniel Coombs and, of course, Michael Budde. And Dirk is behind camera number 1. My name is Ken Patterson, the host of the What's Neat show at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine, and tonight we have a lot of new news to start the show off with, as always. First of all, I want to talk about the footage that I got from James Wright this week. He was featuring the Broadway Limited Santa Fe 3751 class steam locomotive that comes with Proto 3 sound. Is that right? No, that's Paragon sound from Broadway Limited. And then he also featured a really beautiful MTH cab forward. That one's got Proto 3 sound in it. And I saw this cab forward running in his video with the smoking effects and everything. It was absolutely a beautiful model. And we haven't featured any MTH models on the show, but that's going to change. And with that, I want to thank James Wright for the footage that he provides us with. Check out his YouTube channel, JWI 2000. Is that what it is?
Something like that. I think so,
yeah. And that's James Wright. And he has been here, and he's going to come here in another month or so to be on What's Neat. So I look forward to that.
Great.
Also, some new news, just to start a rumor, because you get your new news first here on the show before anybody else. Walthers is coming out with a new name train. We don't know what it is. They won't tell me. But it's coming. And that's exciting because Walthers is now the new sponsor, an additional new sponsor that we have for the What's Neat This Week podcast. Starting next week, we'll run their graphics at the beginning of the show, and they'll have something to feature or talk about that's new that they're coming out with every once in a while so we can stay apprised to the new products from Walthers. And also, we'd like to thank Athearn for being our sponsor this month. Chris Palomero told me that they've got some new F units that they're just coming out with, the demonstrator set, for example. And these are some beautiful locomotive road names. I'm running the screen capture right now across the screen, so check them out at athearn.com. And also, the other thing I've got on the list here is Intermountain's GP10. Now, we've had this model for a good 4 months, and I just got around to running it in the dark down here, and it's got some magnificent lighting effects on it due to the Loc sound decoder that's in it. They're able to put some really neat strobe lights or gyro lights or whatever it is. Really impressive lighting on this GP10 from Intermountain. And that's the one things that I wanted to talk about new news. So what do you got going on, Mike? You got some models here.
Yeah, I brought some N-scale auto racks from a long time ago. These ones up in front here are from my brief foray into N-scale in 1973. Really not much too noticeable on here. I painted the vehicles more realistic colors. I tried to do that, and at the time siding was becoming popular on these auto racks, so I tried to screen side with some nylon stockings. I tried on this Norfolk and Western. This is pretty notable for 3 things. It's got the metal sides on it that I made out of paper, and I was also trying to simulate snow on the top of these cars, but what is most notable about this is it was one of the first times I used Scotch tape windows in N-scale. 1973, I did these windows on these cars, and they're still sticking on there 45 years later, so that's a testament to the durability of the Scotch tape windows. But this is an early scratch-built attempt at a bi-level Not much to show there.
Is that scratch built out of wood?
Yeah, cardboard and wood. The only things I had when I was a kid, hand-drawn heralds
Now,
from
how
New York
old
Central.
were you when you built that?
Probably 16. So 17 maybe. But these are actually a pretty good representation of the Whitehead and Kale's low deck tri-levels, which is supposed to be a lower car, but they're actually higher than these. And I don't know what prototype those are supposed to be. One thing that I found interesting on these cars was the automobiles they used. These came out in 1968 by Boyd Models. I went and got their catalog.
We'll let Ken get in there
Yeah.
and get a tight shot. I can't get that tight.
And anyway, they came with plastic windows, and they came 4 on a card for 89 cents. So that was, and there was 4 different body styles: a 4-door, a 2-door, a station wagon, and a Mustang, all 1968 Fords, and they were made specifically for auto rack loads. So that was the one thing that made me get into N scale from HO, was because they had auto racks and HO didn't. So there's these. I've bought a few more through the years just for nostalgic reasons, and then I had to get one of these red caboose modern ones, even though it's too modern for my era, but I thought it was such a nice model.
It does look pretty nice.
I bought it anyway.
Yeah, you should open that. I like that.
So yeah, that was here for a while. Opened it
Is
up.
that Intermountain?
Yeah,
And that's N scale.
yeah.
How about we run it with
Bob
our-
Schleicher sent that to
I
me
know. I
3
have
years.
to. You're probably looking at tight shots of it right
So-
now because I just let the cat out of the
Yeah.
bag. But this is pretty neat in N scale. I had no idea. I knew they made these
Yeah,
in HO.
I don't know if they still.
They were out
No
they were
kidding,
out
Mike.
before the
Yeah, they
HO.
came
Now,
out
Mike,
in
you've
first.
got all this N scale stuff. Do you have an N scale layout or diorama or anything?
No, not really. Just I found this stuff in boxes in my HO stuff. I know they've come a long way, but it just doesn't. I can't get the realism out of it, especially with the auto racks that I can at HO scale. So
were you actually complete N before HO?
no, I was HO for a long
Okay.
time, but
and then
when N scale came out like big, I guess like maybe 70, 71. These auto racks first came out, and I was drooling
Had to
because
do
they had them in N scale and
Right.
HO didn't. So and there was actually 3 different styles of auto racks produced in N, but I'm still into HO scale. I mean, just these bigger cars are just better for me. So I wanted to have Connor talk about this and this one. I really like that Rock Island. Is this your car, Connor?
Yeah,
Where'd you get it? At a train show?
yeah.
For how much? $5 or something? Good deal like that? $4?
That ain't bad.
Yeah.
and this
And
one is his brother's.
Yeah.
Carter. He wanted us to bring it. He specifically told us to bring it. and
Next
show it
generation
off.
of the hobby.
Yep.
But yeah, if this was on my layout, it would be brand new because that's April '79, the build date on that car, and that's right about my cutoff date.
We love Cotter. You're awesome, man. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're here tonight. While you're talking about N scale, and while we're talking about Mike Budde, we love you, Mike.
Thanks.
Mike is in the May What's Neat video. Yes, I just finished May. I put 2 22-hour work sessions together, one on Thursday, one on Friday, which led into Saturday if you figure out the hours of 22, because somewhere in there I got some sleep. But May got wrapped up in literally 2 days. Mike is in it talking about the stack packs and how everything about the construction on those. And we've also got N Scale in the May What's Neat video over at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine. N Scale. We feature Patrick Lana's gorgeous layout. The Krandic is what it's called. And it's a really large layout built for operation. And the neat thing that Patrick said to me about operating was he didn't get really into the operating with the cards and everything as much as he did watching everybody else operate, because his layout comes to life. He loves to sit back and watch other people enjoy running trains on the layout, and I thought that was neat. Also in the May video is Ron Keiser's FN3 layout. This is a large-scale layout built indoors. Ron's background and profession for school was a professional artist. He's got a degree in art and engineering art and what have you. And that really comes out when you see his layout. Really neat stuff. Layout construction, we do a change on the layout down here, which is going to be kind of interesting. We pull out the chainsaw for that segment, which is everybody's favorite trick. And we got some great drone footage, which I don't want to give away onto what it is by showing you a clip, but thank you very much for the drone footage that we've got. It's just absolutely amazing this time because you can see the color of water. and wire trees. You guys saw that a few minutes ago from Stephen M. Conroy. It's amazing how drone footage really helps us learn how to model by just looking at it. So,
Indeed.
Daniel, say something.
Say something. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
What have you been working on, Daniel?
Well, he's got his Alaska locomotive all lighted up. I covered that in a previous podcast. I also did other DCC installations for his Mopac A, B, A, F units, which did come out pretty nice. So, Dirk, you just enjoyed those. But his intention for the Alaska locomotive was to have a prototype shot of it just coming toward you at the camera.
Yes.
Okay. Everything else, what else have I been working on? Oh, I also got some more woodland scenic cement, so I can get back on the scenery. I will bring some clips next time. I will not forget. So I can show, again, that ugly pink and seeing more like earth colors and green starting to appear on my layout. So, and I also did a DCC decoder install. Thank you, Athearn, for sending me a replacement decoder for my locomotive, and it's back up and running, and I like it.
That's awesome. They sent you a decoder. That's customer service. I know
In
they're
3
good
days,
at that.
too.
No kidding. Speaking of customer service, Kevin Rubel at the Caboose in Lakewood, Colorado, where's that dollar jar, sent us a beautiful photograph shot by John Harris of the store at night the other evening with the Caboose in clear view. It's just an absolutely gorgeous nighttime photo, and we're going to use that at the beginning of What's Neat in June for the beginning of the show. Also, I want to talk about a paper mill project you guys saw me building over there. This is at Walthers.
I thought that was a diesel facility.
No, this is the Walthers paper mill. And what I started doing last night, I've had the thing, we talked about it once on a podcast around number 7 or 8. But I started building it because I need additional background props for outside. Right. A year ago, Bachman said, we're tired of your old buildings, you need to get some new ones. So I bought this, and I started working on it last night. And I like to tape my buildings together with tape, because that way I can get a feel on how they're going to look, and I can stand back and think in my head what modifications I might want to make with regards to internal structure. Because I can't just put it on my layout and let it sit. I kick these buildings around like boxes when I'm outside doing photo shoots. Right. So I might build a plywood interior structure for this building, and then go ahead, and I was thinking about black plexiglass for some of the windows, just to modernize the structure. But it's a pretty neat building, this great big paper mill kit from Walthers. It's worth checking out if you're looking for something that's big for the background of your layout. It's perfect for that. Now, there's a new podcast out there started by a gentleman in Australia. I can't remember his name off of hand, but I remember the name of the show is What's Neat and New in N-Scale, and he talks about his show and that he's came up with the name sort of from our show, but we never have any N-Scale on our show, so that he thought he'd fill that void. And on his show, podcast number 3, he brought up a screen capture of our show right here on his show, which was kind of neat to watch from a third. And he said that Jeff Otto at Oak Hill Model Railroad Track Supply makes great HO scale stuff. Don't worry about it, Dirk. You don't have to go close. But he doesn't make anything in N scale. So heads up to this, to the gentleman that's doing the What's Neat and What's New in N scale podcast. Here's Jeff Otto's N scale template for an N scale turnout. Yes, he does make N scale. So what else? I could keep talking for half an hour. Bowser, I talked to Bowser this week on the phone. They saw the run by of these beautiful CP rail locomotives that we've got on the table here. He saw the run by in an April video and just thought it was absolutely beautiful. Shot outdoor on the grain elevator. The engines that I've got here run great. We took one of them apart this week to see what was on the inside, and there's 2 speakers inside of this thing. So I don't know if it gives you stereo sound or not, but they're also in boxes, so it must give you a good enclosure sound. I know they sound great when they're running, and I really like. Another company I talked to this week was True Scale Paint. Is that the name of it? They do the paint for Shane Wilson's company Scale Trains.
Yeah.
Great line of paint. He's agreed to work with us and maybe get us some paint so we can start using it on some various projects and kind of talk about it a little bit and our experiences with it. Brad Sloan opens up the April or May What's Neat video with the Central Valley 3-span silver bridge that you see in front of me right here. These are the bridges that Jeff Parker built
Central
for us.
Valley, right?
Central Valley,
Okay.
yeah. And Tim Reynolds over there, too, helps him out. And he sent us, Tim Reynolds and those guys built these 3 silver ones. I just opened up the box this week. They've been sitting here for 7 months, and we're getting ready to do that outdoor river scene. And we tease you with it with the opener on the Maze video. So that's what that's all about. But we've got all the Central Valley bridges sitting here. HO scale, dual gauge, narrow gauge, double track. And these are all those 200-foot, I believe they're Pratt truss bridges.
I'm not sure.
These are pretty. I tell you what, the detail on these is just phenomenal. Central Valley, you guys did a phenomenal job on these bridges. Too bad I can't fit one on my layout.
Yeah.
They are neat, and they're not very expensive, and they're fun kits to build. I know that, and we're going to build one of these, I think, in the June What's Neat video. Now, Tim Reynolds sent us some video from California of a special Union Pacific, I guess it was a business train. They had 1943 pulling it.
Spirit unit.
The Spirit was right in the front of it. And Dirk, what do you think about these cars? Aren't
Yeah,
these the cars?
those are my cars that I built.
Those are the ones that you built.
I'm going to build that other power car too, but what I really need is the business observation car for the end. I can go ahead and scratch build that theater car.
Yeah, we shot all that video of you when you were here that one
Right.
day with your cars. That ran on a What's Neat segment when you did the modern Union Pacific cars, which we really liked.
December 2014.
December 2014. How do you remember all that?
I
Dave?
don't know.
Sheldon Cooper.
Rain Man.
How about that?
Human computer, as Mike calls me.
Jeff, what else you got to talk about? Anything you've been working on?
Unfortunately, no, not really.
You've been weathering
a
cars,
few
getting some
things,
stuff.
yeah,
Are you
nothing too
preparing
big.
for the
Kinda-
prototype modelers meet?
No, but that's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Actually,
Who's all coming to that?
depressed about.
Is the Rust Bucket guys coming this year?
Yeah, they'll be the normal guys, but unfortunately, I think Gary's out again.
Yeah.
We all love Gary.
Oh, Gary
if
Christensen,
you're
yeah.
watching, you're probably not, but I wish you could make it. Sell a couple models. And
Best
buy a
work
plane
ever.
Ticket. I already offered him. He can stay. I got a spare bedroom at my
How about
house.
Perry? Is Perry coming?
You know, remember he got the new job with, is it Watco, I think, on the railroad.
Railroad,
So I think when I last spoke with him, Perry, we'll have to talk again, but I think he said that there's probably a better chance he will not make it. He just had a kid, dude.
Yeah, two
Oh,
little
my.
He
baby
had a
girl.
kid,
How
new
about
job,
that?
he moved, so...
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Right,
congrats on the
Yeah.
job and the baby.
Best
but
time
I
of your
don't-
life.
I don't know if I would say he probably won't make it, if I
Yeah.
guess, but we'll see. If you can.
We're
show up
looking
there.
forward to that. What are the dates of the prototype modelers meet, guys?
July 20th,
20th and
21st.
Okay, and that's going to be a big show this year. And then we've got the NMRA National in Kansas City about 2 weeks after that. I don't know the exact dates for that, but that's going to be a very interesting show to go and do. What else do we have, guys, on this list?
The Challengers.
Oh my gosh, and the NNS. There's a lot going on here, isn't there? We have all of these
CSA 1.
CSA 1s and CSA 2 locomotives from Athearn. I'm going to run B-roll footage on this, Dirk, so just
Yep.
kind of widen out
There's
on
a
this.
cover shot.
What a nice set of locomotives. They finally all got painted on the front. I just finished the locomotives and shot this turntable shot with all of them in it. There's 5 or 6 variations of the 7 engines that are in the shot. One of these engines runs, so I look forward to running it on the layout. I haven't had time to do that yet. But just what a great, unbelievable amount of work it must have taken to come up with all the design of these various different kinds of front ends. So hats off to Athearn on that. Thank you for allowing me to do this photograph. It's my new screensaver on the computer. I really like it. I'm going to lose it after that because I'm running out of stuff on my list to
This
talk about.
NSSD60 E.
Tell us about that, Daniel, because I know about as much as you do on that one. I don't know.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was a rebuild program from the Juniata shops in Altoona, Pennsylvania, that they wanted to rebuild their older locomotives and upgrade them. This is the SD60E, which this is the new Athearn model with Tsunami
Yes,
2.
we just now got it last week when Chris was here. I have not even run this on the layout or photographed it outside, so you're seeing this first. And the interesting thing about it is the cab and the way it's designed. It's just very unusual looking. And NS, I believe, is the only railroad that has those.
Yeah. It is their own rebuild program, too.
They got, don't they? I don't think none of them are out yet, but they did the first responder unit too, right?
Yeah, and I think they're maybe doing the honoring veterans unit. So they're
Okay.
going all 3 units: Black NS, first responders, and then the honoring veterans. So
Osborne Models over in England. Maurice sent me an email this week that said in the UK they are starting a TV program that's going to run on their national TV, Channel 5. But what it is going to be is similar to what you see here in the United States, where they have competition for making knives, or they might have competition for, you know what I mean? Only this is going to be a model railroad show, where they're going to build projects, do scenery, have teams. These teams are going to have to work for 3 weeks in a row to film this project. I don't know who's involved in this, but it sounds very interesting that they're creating a program for essentially their cable, satellite type TV. And it'd be great to see something like that in the United States. I mean, we've got so many different programs on so many different subjects.
You can start.
How interesting would that be? So I wanted to bring that up. Thank you very much, Maurice, for sending us that information. And I think we're almost running out. We're at 20 minutes, guys.
I got a couple of things.
Please.
As far as the RPM meet in Collinsville, the 187th Scale Vehicle Club is going to be there too. So there's going to be a pretty large display of HO vehicles.
So there's a combined show.
Right.
Wow.
And you mentioned English's model trains earlier in the show. That's one of the best hobby shops I've been to. I used to go up there every summer. My wife's parents were from that town, and that was my big highlight every year, going up to visit the in-laws, going to English's Model Railroaders, supply. And so I'd like to give them a shout out. Rich Cox was the guy I used to deal with up there. I'm sure he's still there. So you wanted to give a shout out to Redboard too, didn't you? Redboard Hobbies?
That was
Jeff.
you?
Okay.
Yeah, the car. I forgot about that. Paul Freeze over at Redboard Hobbies in Belleville, Illinois. Only local people would know, but
Right.
great
He's
hobby
got a
shop.
nice shop.
He's 90% probably trains. I think he has a couple other, vehicle models and stuff like that. But he's almost all trains. Very knowledgeable. Books, everything, all current stuff. But Redboard Hobbies in Belleville.
A lot of those hobby shops, they say RC is the thing that's keeping them going now.
Right. Yeah, I don't think he does much at all. Yeah, it's mostly all
good
trains.
to see a whole train store. All right, go
All
ahead.
right, I do have a story that I almost
City.
forgot about, but it's not written down here on the piece of paper, and that is I've been working on my Pac-Man train again. Now, this is not meant to be a prototype train. This is me playing trains, and I use the phrase playing trains in a lot of the What's Neat videos, not to be condescending to us as hobbyists, but playing trains is a term that Lee Riley used all the time at Bachman, and it was just the fact that it was a non-defensive term that really described what we actually do, to be honest with you. And because it's the toy business, and Lee was in that end of the toy business, when he said it, I respected it. So it was kind of, and that's why I use it when I say it in videos, not to. But I'm playing with the Pac-Man train, okay? And what we did this week, Anna was over there helping me in the shop, trying to put coal on top of them. So she was spraying glue on top of the loads, and then sprinkling the coal on top. And then she was wiping it off the sides. I mean, she knew exactly what to do. It was great help. And then we decided to do it wholesale and try to get all of them done at one time. So we put all of the coal loads on the table all at once, sprayed them all with glue all at the same time, covered the entire thing with coal, and then came back and found out that it's separated just like dominoes, and they fit right back into the cars, and now they've got real coal in them, and they sparkle. But of course, these are ore cars, so they wouldn't carry coal. So again, here's me playing trains. And when I weather this, I think I'm actually going to line it up on the track and run it through as the airbrush sprays it.
That looks pretty nice.
So yeah, I like the sparkly effect of putting real coal on a train.
It does look pretty cool.
I remember my father used to do that on steam locomotives, on the old brass steam locomotives when he painted those up. Another thing,
Fragile
Dirk, go
layers.
white on this. One last thing, Model Railroader magazine. I went to the grocery store the other night at midnight and picked up this copy of Model Railroading, something that Kalmbach, that Model Railroader, has come out with. And what it is a magazine that every page that you turn to, that you go into it, there's a something in the corner that says click here to watch the video plus video that goes with the magazine. And then, of course, you enter the code that's written in the magazine, and you can go watch the videos. So it's a very interesting concept that you see now with the paper magazine, tying their publication directly into the internet, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Rather than just going video or just going paper. Here's
Right.
a very interesting attempt. So good luck to that. Hats off to our friends at Model Railroader Magazine. And I just ran out of stuff to talk about completely. I think that's going to wrap it up for us. I know we've gone for our full almost 27, 28 minutes here. I know we still got to run some trains tonight, and I look forward to that. So who wants to close it out? Daniel?
Okay, guys, as always, dislike, comments. We are kind of lacking some questions. I mean, if you got questions, whatever it is, just throw it out there. We'll be able to answer it. And
Were there no
Dirk,
questions
we'll
this time
try.
around, Dirk?
No, we really had a lot of good comments.
didn't read 'em. I didn't read 'em.
from the the podcast that we did live. We've had some other comments of people from different places in the world and such, but we just don't have a lot of specific questions that I could direct to either one of you guys.
Okay,
So,
well, it sure worked well during the live show. We had a ton of questions for that.
we did.
Almost an hour and a half. No editing capabilities with that one, so... Well, with that, close it out, Daniel. Let's...
All right, so this will be a wrap on podcast number 31. Jeff Meyer, Mike Budde, our host, Ken Patterson, Connor Mayer, myself, and Dirk. Thank you again for running cameras tonight. And again, this will be a wrap on podcast 31 for, what's today's date?
April 7th, 2018. Just that easy. Did we?